practicing the problem-solving process is essential for being able to do it well. So I have a few problems. We're going to practice working through it together, going through the steps, so you can remember so you can understand what the steps really are and be able to use it in the class and understand what the heck I'm saying. You can always refer back to this page in your journal at any time in the course of the class to remember how to do the problem-solving process. But this worksheet is our practice. Okay, so when it comes to problem-solving process, those first steps, identifying the variables and the question, are actually probably the most important steps. Because if you don't do this, you have no idea what the heck to do with the rest of the problem. Okay, so here we go. Step 1. So find question 1. A woman does 45 joules. Okay, so find that question. Step 1. Any and every number. Write down every number with its units. So we have the 45 joules. So we're identifying the variables. Okay, 45 joules. Joules, that abbreviation is in uppercase J. Okay, and it tells you 45 joules of work. Okay, so joules is the measurement, the variable is work. Symbol for that is in uppercase W. Okay, distance 28 meters. So we have another number here, 28. Give us the unit of measure, meters, and we are measuring the variable distance. Okay, as she moves through HEB. Okay, any other numbers there? No. Alright, so there we go. We have our two, we've done step 1, we've identified the variables, the information provided in the question. Step 2, what is the question asking for you to solve for? So the woman does 45 joules of work as she pushes a grocery cart at a distance of 28 meters as she moves through HEB. How much force was used to move the cart? So what is the question asking us to solve for? Force. That's the question. Symbol for that, uppercase F. Okay, so we have W, we have D, and we have F. Those three variables. If you look at a formula chart, you look through and you find a formula that has those three variables in it, you get the formula F equals WD. Force equals work times distance. Ugh, sorry, I wrote that wrong. Work equals force times distance. Sorry. Alright, work equals force times distance. That's the formula you're going to use. Okay? So, there's your formula. Now the question is, so that's step 3. Step 4, rearranging the formula. Now, you have to figure out first if you need to rearrange that formula. Okay? So what I always do is I put a question mark next to the question variable. So F, this right here, this is my question. That's what I want to solve for is F. That formula, is it set up to solve for F? No. This formula is designed to set up to solve for W, work. I want to solve for the force. Okay? So I do need to rearrange. Yes, I need to do step 4. Okay, so magic triangle. We're going to use the magic triangle. Okay, W equals FD. So if we need to put this formula into the triangle. We need to put each one of those variables into a space in the triangle. F and D are side by side in the formula. They need to be side by side in the triangle. So they're both going to go on the bottom, so they're side by side. That leaves W on top. Okay? Now, write what you want to solve for, the question. F equals, right? That's my question. I want to know what F equals. Now I cover F with my finger. Cover F with my finger, and I see with what's left. W over D. W over D. I just rearranged the formula to solve for the force. So we did step 4. Okay? I rearranged this formula so I can solve for F, which is what I want, which is my question. Okay? Now step 5, plug in the numbers. So F equals, instead of writing W, I'm going to write 45J. Instead of D, I'm going to write 28M. Okay? So I've plugged in my numbers. Now I know exactly how I'm going to put it in the calculator. If you don't write it down and you just get this far, you might accidentally switch those. If you write them down, you're less likely to make a mistake. I encourage step 5. You'll find that the more you do step 5, the less mistakes you're going to make. Okay? Alright, so plug in the numbers. 45, calculator on, 45 divided by 28. And that way you can check and make sure you actually put it correctly in the calculator. Answer is, the calculator says 1.607142857 blah 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 blah. Alright, so remember, step 6, you don't only put in the calculator, but you have to give the answer with the correct significant figures and the units. So significant figures, I've got 2 significant figures in both of my original numbers. My answer should have 2 significant figures. So 1 and 6. Okay, those are the first 2 sig figs. That 0 right there is not going to make the 6 round up, so it's going to stay as 1.6. Solving for force, you will learn in the future that the units for force are newtons. Big uppercase N. Alright, that's a step you don't know yet, but that is the problem solving process. Okay, so the most important thing is getting it started. You can do this much with practice, the rest of it just kind of falls into place. But you have to know what your variables are. That's why I'm making you guys do that variables quiz. So you can learn the first variables, get them memorized, it makes the rest of the class a lot easier. Okay, memorize, you've got to learn to memorize these. Okay, you've got to memorize them as quickly as possible. Okay, question number 2. Alright, I want you to try it yourself. First, identify the variables. Any number, write it down with its unit. Okay? Those are 2 numbers, but I want you to write them down. 3.2 kg/L and 78 kg. Alright, well, kg/L. I don't know what those are. Well, if you read the question carefully, it will often tell you what they are. A density of 33.2 kg/L. That's density. Alright, which is actually uppercase D. Alright, kg. Well, you should know by Friday for the quiz that kg is a measurement of mass. And the symbol for that is a lowercase m. Okay? So we have D and we have density and we've got mass. Okay? So that's step 1. We've identified the variables provided in the question and labeled them. Alright? Step 2, what's the question? What is the question? What are we trying to solve for? So aluminum has a density of 3.2 kilograms per liter. If a large sample has a mass of 78 kilograms, what is the volume of the sample? What is the volume? Notice it's a question. What is the volume? Uppercase V is volume. What's the volume? What's the volume of the sample? Alright, D, M, and V. We have those 3 variables. So if you go through a formula chart and you look very carefully, you will find that density is equal to mass divided by volume. Now you should have learned that in chemistry. You might remember, you might not. But that is your formula. It has the 3 variables that you originally given to you. It has those variables there. So we're good. Now, step 4. Ask yourself, do we need to rearrange the formula? Well, the question is volume. So we're going to put a little question mark next to the V in the formula. Do I need to rearrange the formula? Does this formula solve for volume? No, it does not. So yes, we need to rearrange. So, magic triangle. So, looking at the formula, I need to put the formula into the triangle. Formula into the triangle. We need to know which variable goes into which space in the triangle. Okay, so M and V We're looking at those two. M over V. So in the triangle, if in the formula M is over V, in the triangle M needs to be over V. And that leaves D in the empty box. Okay? So M, D, and V. It's in the triangle. Now, to rearrange the formula, you write down what you want. V equals, because that's our question. V equals. Now you cover that with your finger, so you can't see the V anymore. And you end up with M and D. Notice the M is over the D. M over D. M over D. We just successfully rearranged the formula to solve for volume. Okay? So step number 5, plug the numbers. V equals M is 78 kilograms. D is 3.2 kilograms per liter. Okay? These two are being divided. So get your calculator. Divide 78 by 3.2. You know exactly which number is going on top. When you divide them, what order to put them in. The volume calculator says 24.375. Alright, but I need significant figures. My original numbers both have 2 significant figures, so my answer should have 2 significant figures. It's going to be 24. Alright, but I also need units. So volume is measured in milliliters or liters. Right here it tells us liters, so liters is our units for that one right there. So there's our answer. Okay? Again, with these, the most important thing is starting those first steps. You've got to identify your variables. If you don't identify your variables, you have no idea what to do with the problem. You can't move forward. Okay? Okay. And the problems in this class, they get harder and harder as we go on. The first questions are going to be really easy. The first problem is going to be really easy because you're just getting started in the class. But as we get along, they're going to get harder and harder. When you get to the midterm exam, if you don't do the problem-solving process, you're probably going to get the question wrong because they get very, very difficult and very complex, and they give you a ton of information. So, learn the process. It's for your benefit. Because when the problems get really difficult, if you don't know the process, you're screwed. Okay. Question number 3. Step 1, I want you to identify the variables. These you should know. Write down any number with its units. Write down any and every number with its units. Now, what do those units measure? 78 m/s, meters per second. Meters per second are a measure of velocity, lowercase v. 2,394 m. M is meters. Okay? Meters is a measure of distance or displacement. Okay? So we're talking about speed and distance. Speed is the same thing as velocity. Distance, it's just not giving you the direction. So we've got distance there rather than displacement. Okay? Now what is step 2? Question. What is the question asking for you to solve for? So a car is traveling with a speed of 78 meters per second. How much time? Time is the question. Alright, how much time does it take to travel a distance of 2,394 meters? Okay, so my formula, you look at a formula chart, you're going to find that velocity is displacement or distance over time. That's the formula you're going to use. But time is the question. So step 4, do we need to rearrange the formula? Yes, we do. Put it into the magic triangle. Alright, D and T. D is over T. So I need the D over the T in the triangle. That leaves V in the empty space. Okay, T is the question. That's what we're trying to solve for, is the T. So write down T equals. Delta T equals. That's what I want to know. Cover it with your pinky. Cover it in the triangle with your finger. And you're left with D over V. Okay? Now you've rearranged the formula. Step 5, plug in the numbers. So T is equal to, instead of writing D, we're going to write 2,394 M over V, 78 M slash S. And now we know exactly what to put in the calculator. 2,394 divided by 78. 2,394 divided by 78. We know exactly what we're punching in the calculator. The calculator says 30.692307 blah 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 blah. Significant figures, we're not going to write that for our answer. So significant figures, we have 2 in that one, 4 in that one. So my final answer should have 2 significant figures. So we look at the 3 and the 0, the 30, and that 6, the next digit, is the 6 going to round the 0 up or leave it alone? Rounds it up. So 31, and we're solving for time. Time is the question. Go back to the units here. Units for measure for time are seconds. So 31 seconds. That is your answer. Notice you can get the answer without ever having really knowing what you're doing. That's the nice thing about the problem solving process. So long as you do the process and you pay attention to the variables, you can solve for the answer even if you don't even know what it's talking about. Okay? Last one, I want you to try it on your own and see if you can figure it out. Okay? I want you to show your work. Okay? Must show your work. Alright, you must show your work using the problem solving process. Alright. Alright, and make sure you give me your final answer with units, significant figures, and everything. When I grade this journal entry, I'm going to be grading this worksheet. If this is not on there, I'm not giving you credit for the worksheet. So, please, 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 get this problem done. Okay? The only thing you need to know for this problem, to be able to solve for it, is that the formula that you're going to be using is F equals ma. Alright? So this is force, this is mass, and this is acceleration. Okay, so that's the formula you're going to use. That's the one piece of information extra that you need to be able to do this problem. Okay, now once you've finished it, once you've gotten your work done, you've shown your work, you've gotten your answer, blah 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 blah, you're going to take this worksheet, okay, and this is going to go in your journal, page 5. Alright, we're going to be gluing it into the binding. So, take glue in the binding, take that worksheet, okay, that edge right there where the line is, that's designed for you to be able to shove it in there, shove it into the glue. That's the edge you're going to shove in, and close your journal, and there you go.